Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Now tomorrow is the big day. Obviously we've had the two test events at the new stadium, but this is the big one. This is the first ever Premier League game, 3rd of April, Tottenham Hotspur against Crystal Palace. Of course we are all looking forward to this. This is the first time that it will be a capacity crowd. 62,062 fans will enter the stadium tomorrow. Obviously I've just said the two test events have gone swimmingly well. Under 18s we won 3-1, and then the Legends last Saturday, which finished in a 5-4 win to Inter forever. Absolutely brilliant events. Obviously we've built up to the crowd of 62,000, but it will be the first time that 62,000 fans will enter the stadium, and it should be a fantastic occasion. They are actually holding an opening ceremony at 7:15, which I think is being broadcast live on Sky as well, but obviously the game isn't. Now we do actually have only 7 league games left in the Premier League, 5 at home, so we will play 5 Premier League games in the new stadium against Crystal Palace, Huddersfield, Brighton, West Ham and Everton. The 2 away games that we've still got to play, Manchester City and Bournemouth. Now it is very fair to say that Tottenham are not in very good form in league competition at the moment. Burnley 2-1 defeat away, a 2-0 defeat at Chelsea, then we drew 1-1 at Wembley with rivals Arsenal, and then the last 2 games, 2-1 defeat at Southampton and a 2-1 defeat at the weekend. Extremely disappointing, it really was, especially after a 3-week break, then travelling up to Anfield, and really, well, we should have got the 3 points there in my opinion, at least a draw. So it was absolutely gutting to come all the way back home, you know, with nothing. It really was. Only Fulham have a worse record in the past 5 games than Tottenham. Tottenham are in really poor form at the moment. Even Huddersfield, Cardiff and Burnley have a better record in the past 5 games in the Premier League. So it is very fair to say that we do need the points. Not one, we need all 3. We really do, and it's so important that opening this stadium, we open it with a win. It really is. Tottenham are currently sitting in 4th place. Having played 31 games, won 20, lost 10, and just drawn that 1 match at Arsenal. Against Arsenal at Wembley. We are currently sitting on 61 points. Last night, Arsenal beat Newcastle and they leapfrogged over Tottenham, and they are now sitting in 3rd place. Played exactly the same games, and they are now on 63 points, so they're 2 points ahead of us. Manchester United are actually playing tonight against Wolves. They're sitting in 5th place. They are on exactly the same points as us at the moment, so if they draw or win, Tottenham will be sitting in 5th place at the end of today. Chelsea are 6th with 60 points, so they are 1 point behind. So as I say, Tottenham could be 5th tonight. So tomorrow night, you know, against Crystal Palace, it is crucial. It is absolutely crucial we get the win for so many reasons. Obviously, 2 of the 4, which are Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea, two of the teams will get Champions League and 2 will get Europa League, and we just need to make sure it is us. We really do. Pochettino said today actually that he's extremely confident that we will get top 4. So you know, let's be confident, you know, with him, and hopefully we will achieve that. Palace in the last 5 games have won 3 and lost 2. They are currently sitting in 13th place in the Premier League and got 36 points. Harry Winks is back. He's been out for almost a month, so that's great news. Eric Dyer is still out. Serge Aurier and Eric Lamela are also out. Sacco is the only player out for Crystal Palace. Now, strangely, last 5 games in the Premier League between Tottenham and Crystal Palace, they have all ended 1-0 to Spurs. So I will take that right now. If it is another 1-0, Harry Kane, Harry Winks, Moussa Sissoko, or even Hugo Lloris, I don't care who scores, let's just get the win. Palace actually last won in the league at White Hart Lane, obviously Tottenham's home stadium, in November 1997, so a fair while ago. Tottenham will actually tomorrow night become the first ever Premier League team to play at two different stadiums at home in the Premier League. Harry Kane is currently on 59 Premier League home goals. The only player to be beating him at the moment and holding the record is Jermaine Defoe with 60. So if Harry Kane does score one, he will equal the record. If he scores two tomorrow, then he will beat the record and he will become Tottenham's highest Premier League scorer at home. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below who you think the first 11 will be to play in our first Premier League game at a new stadium. What is your score prediction? Who will score the first ever goal? Who will get the first yellow card? Will there be a penalty in the game? If so, who will take it? Anyway, here are the thoughts of Crystal Palace fan Harvey. He is from the red and blue site. Anyway, my prediction for tomorrow is 2-0 Spurs. I think that we've got to just get the job done and get the win. And I just hope that every single Tottenham fan in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow night just sing your heart out and just support the team and get behind the club. Come on, you Spurs.
Hi there guys, Harvey here from the Red and Blue Site YouTube channel, Crystal Palace fan of course. Thank you very much to Chris for inviting me onto his channel again. Really enjoyed the last video talking about Spurs' new stadium, and here just to give my thoughts on tomorrow's game, a few preview thoughts. For obviously biggest game of probably Spurs' season so far, moving into your new ground. And for us it's a massive occasion, everyone associated to Palace as well, a bit of history for Crystal Palace and the club, and to be the first opponents for Spurs at their new stadium. So massive obviously for the Spurs and the home fans, but for Palace fans and the Crystal Palace Football Club as well, it's also a big day and a big occasion, so really looking forward to it. In terms of how Palace are getting on at the moment in terms of form, we had a massive 2-0 win against Huddersfield at the weekend. That's pretty much sealed our another season in the Prem. Obviously not mathematically safe, but we're more than likely going to stay up now. That was a big win. We're now I believe over 7 points clear now if you include goal difference, so it's now really trying to show some form, consistency to the end of the season, and try and have a stepping stone or building blocks now for the next season, and try and improve in the summer. So in that sense there's a bit of pressure off of us for this game, especially after the international break. It came at a great point because we lost our two biggest games of the season, FA Cup quarter-final to Watford, and then our league game against Brighton as well, our big rivals Brighton. We lost that as well. So the Huddersfield win came at a great point, so there's high spirits now. A lot of weight is off of the players and the fans' shoulders. I feel like there was a really tense around the ground, and that's kind of been taken away from that Huddersfield win now. So it's a lot more upbeat. So it's really good timing for Wednesday's game. In terms of the game, I think it's a good time to play Spurs. Obviously, a good time to play Spurs because we've just won and you've lost against Liverpool, and that would have been a massive blow to you. The way, not just the loss, but the way you lost, and also Arsenal winning on Monday night to go above you as well. So it's a good time to play you in that sense because you're probably at quite a low point, I'd say. Especially when you look just a month ago, it was almost like you're challenging for the title, and now you're challenging for top four. Was all of a sudden everyone almost had you guaranteed as a top four team about a month ago. So it's incredible to see how things change. So in that sense, it's a good time to play you. On the other hand, you need a win at all costs, and it's your first game in your new stadium. So it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. It's going to be an unbelievable occasion for you guys to be back home. Best stadium in Europe. I mentioned it in my thoughts on the previous video for Chris. It is probably the best stadium in Europe, best new stadium in Europe for the last 10 or so years. The features in it, the pitch, the design of the ground, the way it's geared towards designed to be about atmosphere, which not many new grounds are nowadays. It's great to see, and it makes me very jealous as a Palace fan, where our club is we're all about atmosphere, and the fans are all about singing and chanting and generating, being the 12th man. So to see Spurs fans being able to have this stadium I'm very, very jealous. But obviously, it's a great opportunity for you guys to really sing your hearts out and make it an intimidating atmosphere, and to see what kind of atmosphere the ground can actually generate, because it obviously hasn't been in the test events, hasn't been a full capacity yet. So for me, in my thoughts on the stadium, I think that it looks incredible. I think it is a good time to play for Spurs, in the sense that you're down at the moment, but this is the sort of game Spurs fans will be looking at. Right, we have to win this at all costs, and when Spurs have to win a game, I think it's quite deadly. You look at the Champions League, for example, in the group stages, you had to win 3 of those games. Obviously got the draw against Barcelona, but you got the results when you needed them. So I think that it's going to be very, very hard to, especially in a new ground where the pitch is going to be unfamiliar. Not just, obviously it's going to be unfamiliar for Spurs players as well as Palace players, but it's going to be so intimidating. It's going to be, I think the Palace players will cope with the intimidation of the new ground and the atmosphere, but I think that the occasion will be so big, and for Spurs, like as I mentioned, a must win. I do think Spurs will see it over the line. In terms of moving from Wembley at this point in the season, I think that I don't see any problems with it. I think you're well within your rights to. You're within the rules. You're allowed to. So why not get in there? And as you're in this position now, where top 4 is now in the balance, it's crucial now you get wins on the board, and the only way you can do that, or not the only way, but a really good boost in getting that top 4 spot that you crucially need for next season for the first full season in the new ground, is by moving there now. If you can and it's ready, got to do it. You've got to do it. Get the fans in. It will obviously create a lift, because you've been in a really poor run of form at the moment. So the stadium will give a lift, and it will obviously make things harder for Palace's point of view. And it is quite a nice game, I think, from Spurs' point of view. Andros Townsend facing his former club as well, so maybe there could be a headline written there. We don't know, but I think it's quite a nice game for Spurs' point of view. A very much a winnable game, because although we've been good away from home, I think that you'd expect Spurs to beat Palace on a one-off game. For us, we're going to treat it as a cup game, and it almost is a cup game because of the occasion, because of the fans from both sides. Obviously, you're going to be outnumbering the Palace fans, but they're going to be. It's unknown territory for both sets of fans and both sets of teams, this ground. So it's going to be almost like playing at Wembley, in the sense of it's like a cup game, a one-off game. So in that sense, I think it will help us. But on the other hand, you have to win. And I think when Spurs, as I mentioned, have to win, you more than likely going to get the job done, unless you go have a Spursy game. Fingers crossed you do, and we can make some history. So I do think Spurs will make top 4, and I think that the ground moving in now will be the catalyst for that. At the end of the day, I think you will have enough, because your team is probably the strongest when you compare to. I think it's definitely stronger than Arsenal and Chelsea's, and I think that's all you've got to worry about at the moment. So those are my thoughts.